taken some time to try some of these trig ratios, and if you haven't, press pause now and work through some of them. I have some solutions already written in for you, but I'm going to go through just a few that I notice students struggle with. So to start off with, we're going to go through the sine of 180. The sine of 180, well, 180 is right here, and we know sine is just your coordinate point. Remember, cosine, sine is just 0. Next one, the tangent of 90. Now, 90 degrees is here. We only have our cosine and sine ratio, so we know that tan is just Southern California. Sine over cosine. Our sine is 1. Cosine is 0. That is illegal, so it's undefined. And we'll scoot down here to cosine of negative 450. And we just need to think about our unit circle and where we're going to land if we go negative 450 degrees. So always starting here. If I travel negative direction and I end here, that's negative 360 degrees. I need to make it to negative 450. So from there, I continue on another 90 degrees, and this is where I'll end. So my cosine there is just going to be 0. Let's move on to some that are a little more tricky here. There's multi-step problems. So 2 times the cosine of 30, well, we can find our cosine of 30 by doing our special triangle. Again, I would recommend you draw this in each time just so it becomes a little more natural. This is 2 root 3, 1. And the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. And if I multiply those across, I'm left with only root 3. Then we have 2 times the cosine of 45 minus 5 times the sine of 60. Cosine of 45 is my 45, 45, 90, 1, 1, root 2. The cosine is just adjacent over hypotenuse. So 1 over root 2, if I rationalize that, I would have root 2 over 2. Sine of 60, I'm going to look over here to my 30, 60, 90. My reference angle is here. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. So if I simplify this expression, these 2's cancel out. I'm left with root 2 minus 5 root 3 over 2. And we can just leave it as that for now. The cosine of 45, I'll look back over here to my 45, 45, 90 triangle. Cosine, I said cosine, but it's sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 1 over root 2, which rationalizes to root 2 over 2, plus 3 cosine of 30, so I'm here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. So this would be plus 3 root 3 over 2. Common denominator is 2. We have root 2 plus 3 root 3. And we have our last one here. It's just a whole lot of calculations. So the cosine of 30 degrees, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. The tangent of 30 degrees is opposite over adjacent, so 1 over root 3, plus the sine of 30 degrees. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 1/2, over the tangent of 30. Tangent of 30, we already have that one. It's 1 over root 3. So to simplify this a little bit, we would go with, let's see if I can get a little more room. These two cancel out, so I'm left with 1/2 plus 1/2 over 1 root 3. So that's 1 over 1 root 3, and everyone always gets tripped up with these fractions over fractions, but that just means 1 divided by 1 over root 3. You multiply by the reciprocal, so we're left with only the root of 3.